Without further ado, we are getting ready to bring on the Exonerated Five. We want to give them a round welcome. Come on now, Exonerated Five. Give it up for the Exonerated Five. You can do better than that now. Come on, you know what these brothers been through here. You know what these brothers have been through. You know they have stood up for you. That's right. Gentlemen, welcome. Welcome. It's an honor. It's an honor to sit here with you, brothers. Some of the folks don't know the history out there. They know the story with you brothers that one evening in Central Park, the police picked you up on a crime that you did not do. A crime that you did numerous years in jail. And because of God, and because of this brother here, of the challenges and the breaks and the trials that y'all went through, it was put forward that you brothers didn't do this crime. And you kept your innocence. That's the whole thing. You maintained your innocence through the whole duration of being in jail. Again, do you understand that these brothers did not waver? They did not take a deal. They did not. So we want to welcome you again, brothers. And as I say, I do this in the spirit of my mentor, Bob Slade. Because Bob Slade, who was our news director of Open Line, along with our Open Line team of James Mtume and Bob Pickett, our news team, and Tripp, Joe Bragg, myself as producer, along with your family and supporters, kept this story alive out there. And when you brothers were exonerated and you came home, one of the first interviews that you granted, you came up to the Open Line show and you gave us the first interview. And I want to thank you and commend you on that.
Listen, we want to thank you all for being courageous enough to bring us on, because it wasn't a popular thing. It wasn't cool to be one of the, back then as we were known as the Central Park Five. We were seen as pariahs. People hated us, they hated our families, they wanted us dead. But you all saw through that y'all brought us in, y'all felt like something was wrong with this story, and y'all pulled it up and brought it to light. Look at where we are right now. Blessings, man.
I remember at that particular time I was in the movement with Reverend Al Sharpton, Attorney Maddox, and C. Vernon Mason. And when we heard of the story, we knew something didn't sound right away. And this was my entry into, of course, radio, but also being a community activist. We heard your family members. I remember your moms, Brother Yusuf, and all your family telling the story that you brothers didn't do it. You brothers didn't do it.
Well, think about it like this, right? Because they were so invested in that lie, the real perpetrator went on to commit more crime. Had they said, hold on, something ain't right, Corey wasn't even a suspect.
Right.
Raymond said, man, you gave me options. I'm gonna choose one of those options. Nothing's matching in any of these false confessions. Had they done their jobs, there would have been a young pregnant Latina woman who was his last victim. She would have been alive today.
Right.
And I think that that's the collateral effect of what happened in this case. 13 years later, they found out we didn't do it. Corey came home almost 13, 14 years later.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a real deal. Really, I don't curse, but that's an effed up situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We're in the other room, but I want the folks here to hear first of you brothers talking about the Central Park 5 movie, the movie that Ava DuVernay put out, and where are we at today?
Basically, I would just say we're just trying to get our life on. Get our life on to the best that we could do. Get our life on. You know what I mean? Pretty much try to get our life on. You know what I mean? On some real life after death stuff. Try to get our life back on.
One step at a time. Like Yusuf said, they never expected us to be here, to still be breathing and still be alive 30 years later to tell our story, because they, meaning the system, try to sweep it under the rug, because the city will be embarrassed if they tell the truth. So they thought that they will take Black and Latino kids, like what usually happen, and just get rid of them. But we let them know that we still here, we still alive, and now we're gonna keep moving forward. So it's a process. It's really one step at a time.
It could be done, because right now we living in a different time zone now. So we talking about 30 years ago, now dealing with 30 years later. So while dealing with 30 years later, we want to give you later. And later is Exonerated 5 now. We still alive, now we Exonerated 5.
Yusuf?
Yeah, and that's the reality of it too. Like, where we are right now is that we're on the brink of changing everything. This criminal system of injustice got to go, because we find out that it was designed like this. It was designed to keep Black and brown bodies in jail cells, as opposed to being productive members of society, being able to take care of our families, being able to do the right thing. I think about all of the stuff that we could have did and all of the stuff that was taken from us, including the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness that our families should have had, with us being in their lives outside as free folks. And so this is truly life after death. But at the same time, what this film gave us back was young people started to get the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that they needed to be the answer to the question, which is, what are we gonna do? We're gonna stand up. We're gonna fight back. We're gonna change this system. Young people are the most fearless people ever. And I'm so happy to be amongst you all living in this time, because as we share our wisdom with y'all, we throwing the ball up to y'all. Y'all know what to do with it. Y'all gonna take it and do it right.
Brother Santana?
For me, I want to acknowledge BLS. I want to acknowledge Open Line. Definitely want to acknowledge Bob Slade, because when I was sitting in that cell in Spofford Juvenile Detention Center and I cut that radio on, he was the first voice that I ever heard say something's wrong with this case. It was him, and then there was Tripp. That was the two voices that I constantly always listened to in the morning, because they were the ones who gave me that hope, because they were the only ones speaking that truth on the radio at that time. So, I commend y'all. I'm honored to be here today. Thank you for having us. BLS Open Line will always be family to me and to us.
And we don't take those words lightly, and we thank you. You all went through a trying time. As we all saw it in the movie, that they each went through difficult times, coerced. Brother Corey Wise, a lot of people saw what you went through. And I just say to you folks that as you watch the movie, and if you could have said something to this brother who held strong, he held strong. I just want y'all to show him your love, because you saw that. This brother held strong. He did not break. Brother Corey, you give back to the community, man. You are up at the National Action Network with Reverend Al Sharpton. You're out there, you're helping people in the community. Why is it important to give back, my brother?
thinking about reciting something right now. Can I recite something? Recite a little spoken word.
Yes, sir.
These is poems circulating throughout the nation. Everybody's bad and everybody's tough. But how many people are intelligent enough to open up their eyes and see through the lies, to discipline themselves, yourself, to stay alive? That's why the universe brought me on the stage here to say, the rich are going to get richer and the poor are going to get poorer. In the final hour, many heads are going to lose power. What does a rich person poor really mean? Means psychologically means you got to pick your team. The rich get richer because they want to enrich. The poor get poorer because their mind can't switch from the ghetto. Let go. It's not a novelty. You can love your neighborhood without loving poverty. Follow me. Every mother, father, son, daughter. There's no reason to fear the New World Order. We must order the world order to pay us. The New World Order that all stay chaos. The big brother watching over you is a lie, you see. Hip-hop could build its own secret society. But first, you and I have to unify. Stop the negativity and control your creativity. The rich get richer. So why we ain't richer? Could it be we still think like niggas? Educate yourself, make a world view bigger, visualize wealth, and put yourself in the picture.
There you go. Brothers, we know that you are out now. Exonerated 5, that's what we call them. The Exonerated 5. But let the folks know you have a t-shirt business, you're doing books. Let folks know what business that you're doing and how people can support you going forward.
My t-shirt brand is Park Madison NYC. You can find it at parkmadisonnyc.com. It's also, that's the Instagram page, and also my Instagram is Santana Raymond. I see a lot of people in this audience are wearing the shirts already, right here in the front. I love you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for supporting us. And thank you for holding us down throughout this whole process.
Brother Yusuf, I know you have some books out.
So I got some books out. They sold out. I'm sorry they sold out. I only had a few. But listen, in the book are poems that I wrote while I was in prison. 90% of them was written while I was in prison. This one poem in particular is my signature piece. It's called The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. The revolution will not be televised. I can remember when that statement made me sad inside. Too young to be in it, now I couldn't even see it. Why? Why couldn't the revolution be televised? The last poets, Gil Scott Heron. As I grew up, I began to see. They left theirs, and I too wanted to leave a mark on history. A man in half, and I wanted to bask in that task that set men free. But a revolution, the revolution, is where I knew I had to be. The revolution will not be televised. They didn't want to display the victory of those quote-unquote lesser men. The revolution will not be televised. Smile, I know. Because you see this? This is the revolution. Yes, indeed.
There you go. I know we gotta wrap up. I did not say this on the other side, but I would be amiss without to say this. Because when you brothers was locked up, there was somebody that took a full-page ad out of the New York Times at you brothers. As black men in America, it seems that we're still guilty. We still judge by the color of our skin. What message do you want to send to that person occupying the White House?
he don't really matter. He's a one-term president. He don't really matter. Get out to vote, people. He don't matter. We're gonna always be a household name in his household forever. We are president in his household. He's a one-term president. He's only there one time. He's on his way out the door. Make sure that.
You heard what he
Yusuf
said.
Salam, run for president.
You heard what he said. You got work to do, brothers and sisters. Well, we ran out of time. Oh, no, brother, go ahead. You want to respond to that question?
Sure.
Oh, please, yes.
Well, first of all, I don't even call him our president because it's very personal for us. He's number 45. That's all he is. And like Corey said, his time has come and it's going to pass away. So we don't even give him that energy, because ignorance is a virtue. He's going to stay ignorant behind us. So we just have to move forward and just build. And like you said, it's about the future. Get out and vote because we make a difference right now. The youth is what's the difference, and we can make a change, and we get them right out of office.
In the meantime, in between time, Big Al Sharpton, you'll always be the president.
Well, brothers, I call you brothers because it's there. I want to thank you for standing strong. We are here for you. We will always be a platform. As long as we got this mic in our hand, you got a hold wherever you need to get a message out. Brothers and sisters, give it up for the Central Park Five, now the Exonerated Five. Give it up to them, brothers and sisters. Come on now, give it up to the Exonerated Five.